A new plan from Senate Republicans to fight poverty in Delaware, a plan strongly opposed by some Democrats in the first state. Good evening. I'm Paul Butler.
And I'm Steve Hammond. Welcome to WBOC News at 6. If you talk to many hardworking people in Delaware, they will tell you that poverty is a big problem in the state. Many families working just to make ends meet. Well, today, Republican lawmakers in Delaware unveiled an aggressive 11-point plan to combat poverty in the first state. Not everybody, though, is on board. We have team coverage of this tonight. Our Sussex County Bureau Chief Evan Kozlov is in Seaford, and our Kent County Bureau Chief Ryan Stanley is in Dover. We'll begin with you, Ryan, where some of the proposals involve schools and small businesses.
Steve, the plan touches on many issues, and it comes with strong opposition from the state Democratic Party. Still, both sides agree eliminating poverty is no small task.
A big proposal today from Senate Republicans, a plan to reduce poverty in Delaware. Senator Colin Benini saying it's important to even be having the conversation.
There's a significant moral component to this. And, it sounds corny, but we have a moral obligation to help those people.
One of the big issues likely to be controversial, scholarship tax credits. If you donate to an organization that gives scholarships to low-income kids so they can go to private school, you can receive a tax credit. The Delaware Parent Teachers Association president told WBOC Today it's just a voucher program in disguise. Senate President Patricia Blevins, a Democrat, says it would make it a pick-and-choose process that ultimately is used
to benefit private schools in particular. That lifting children out of poverty, I think that money would be better spent in the public schools.
Senator Colin Benini.
The bottom line here is we have folks who are in difficult, high-priority school districts that are not getting the education they deserve.
Another proposal, if you own a business and you mentor an impoverished person, you can be eligible for another tax credit. Tiffany Lee Scott, she owns a bakery in Dover, and she says she's happy to help someone not slip back into poverty.
Without the tax credit, I'm willing to take people in. I'm self-taught myself, so bringing someone in that's not self-taught or not, hasn't had the schooling, it actually inspires me.
The proposal will be broken down into legislative bills that have yet to be filed.
Well, other proposals include housing tax credits and workforce training reviews. Now, the Delaware Democratic Party came out strongly against this plan today, saying it only benefits wealthy people with tax credits, but they were sure to say they are happy to work on some bipartisan issues as well. Republicans saying it's just time to do something, starting with attainable solutions. In the Kent County Bureau, Ryan Stanley, WBOC News. Back to you in the Newsplex.
All right, Ryan, thanks very much.
Well, today we wanted to find out what people dealing with poverty firsthand thought of this idea. Now, Sussex County Bureau Chief Evan Kozlov joins us live in Seaford tonight. And Evan, Sussex County has one of the larger populations of people living in poverty.
Hey there, Paul. And yeah, here at the ACE Center, there were people coming in all day looking for help. That's because poverty is pretty widespread in the area. A lot of people I spoke with say they're just glad that poverty is now part of the conversation. It's mealtime here at the ACE Center in Seaford. They're making food for those in need like they do every day. That includes Octavia Green and her 3 children, ages 1, 4, and 8. She says living poor, especially with young kids, can be a struggle, but for their sake, she refuses to give up.
I have to keep pushing, whether I don't have nowhere to go or I don't have no food to eat, or either way, I just make a way somehow, because that's what mothers have to do. We have to make a way.
And now, helping people like Green is the goal of a new poverty agenda created by the Delaware Republicans. Green says she's especially hopeful about policies that might make it easier for her to go back to school and get a new job. ACE Center Director Jim Martin says tax credits could open the door for those like Green without leverage.
It's kind of like pulling your boots up by your bootstraps, but how can you pull yourself up by your bootstraps if you have no boots? So they're going to try to get the boots on first, and that's through the job training, trying to point people in opportunities that make sense.
Meanwhile, 22-year-old Kelly Rushing also lives in poverty and was doing some physics homework on Wednesday. Rushing, who is dealing with a mental disorder, says her medical bills are really piling up, and for that reason, she says the Earned Income Tax Credit refund would help put some money back in her pocket.
It gives me hope. Honestly, there are a lot of people that need this kind of help.
A new plan to try and address an age-old problem in Delaware. All right, now you just saw a few children in my story, and that's actually a big part of this poverty problem. I have a graph I want to show you. This is from a University of Delaware study back in 2015. As you can see, the total child poverty rate is 22.1% in the first state, but it's even worse in southern and central Delaware, 24.3%. Almost a quarter of the children in Sussex and Kent counties are living in poverty. Reporting here in Sussex County, Evan Kozloff for WBOC News in Seaford.